Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Fallout Shelter. Now, this is one of the many Fallout games out there, but it's also one of the only few Fallout games that's both available to play on the PlayStation, of course, but on the iPhone also. And I vividly remember playing Fallout Shelter way back in the day when it came out as a kid, so this was a very nostalgic and fun time today. However, getting 100% completion on the PS5 takes, according to the guide, 40 hours, which is actually super accurate because it took me almost exactly that much time. Although, I did spend a ton of mom's credit card to help me boost this up, so I'm not sure if Mr. Guide Creator did that or not. Anyways, this is also a part of a challenge where I've been trying to platinum over 100 games suggested by the community, and if I can't complete them all before the channel hits 850,000 subscribers, then I have to shave my head and look like a base character from a video game. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, before we jump into the game's trophies, we got to make our vault, and it's very simple. You just pick a number. I chose to go with the classic. Yes, I am a child, but I still have the past because my brain isn't yet fully developed. Now, there is multiple stages to this platinum, which do help you structure it out, but honestly, you kind of just naturally go through these as you progress the game, with the main and big ultimate goal of just trying to get 100 vault dwellers and upgrade them and your vault as much as possible. Also, doing objectives and quests as fast as you can. With that all said, this intro of the game was kind of non-existent, and that's sort of the appeal to Fallout Shelter. You don't really have much of a guide or a goal as to what you should do, because the game is essentially endless and infinite with no conclusion to be made. Sounds a lot like my insanity disorder. But the first 3 trophies I would go after and get were all related to trophies within stage 1, merging 3 power rooms, food rooms, and water rooms. Now, these 3 are the first introduced in the game because it's also the only 3 rooms that are actually needed to have in the vault, seeing as we need those for essential life of the dwellers within. And merging rooms is also another feature where you just place the same room by its neighbor, and if they can merge, they will, with a maximum of 3 rooms being able to merge at once. And I got all 3 of these trophies literally back to back to back because I had the money and I thought, hey, why the hell not? I then just kind of kept on playing, and I was really trying to just enjoy the first few hours of this playthrough without buying anything because that's a long and slippery slope. Bethesda really nailed the gambling or casino tactics with buying items in this game. It's actually down bad. Once I purchased my first add-on to give me boxes of items in Fallout Shelter, I began to slide into bankruptcy. I want to formally apologize to my bank for the plethora of charges on the Fallout Shelter game. They actually gave me a call and were expecting an iPad kid to pick up the phone, but it was just me, and they were very disappointed. Just like my parents. But anyways, jokes aside, yes, I did get kind of bored of this game because without any boost, the intro or beginning of it is quite bland, seeing as you can't really do much. You have no momentum, and it's just kind of one of those simulator games that takes hours to do one thing, which is crazy. But again, this game isn't exactly meant to be played in a binge. It's more of one of those games that you do something and then come back to it later, hence the phone game aspect. But I did begin to purchase items, which gave me a ton of stuff, and it's definitely cheating, but it's also not because everyone does this, and if you don't, I'm sorry for your loss, I guess. Also, they were on sale, so they basically forced me to. But with this additional help I got after a while, I managed to have enough resources to build the Overseer's office and started doing some of the quest actions within this game. You need to complete 100 of these total, by the way, so it's a fairly big grind. However, it's also a ton of fun to do these, seeing as it's actual gameplay, and you get to sort of choose where and what your people do within the areas we visit. And with all those quests finally beginning and the vault off and running back home, it allowed me to start getting a ton of caps, which are the Fallout currency. And I ended up collecting 1,000 total all on my own. Now, I know I have way more than 1,000, but most are from things I purchased in the game store and don't count. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't really matter. And with all those new funds, I decided to invest. As a wise man once said, real estate is the best investment you can make because it will almost never fail, unless your house burns down. So I just went out and built a few new rooms, merged most of them, and reached 25 total rooms within my vault for a trophy pop called Vault Tech Architect. Say that 10 times fast and a racial slur might form. But after that, I was kind of set for a while on the good old vault architectural standing, so I began to quite literally just do quests. Like, that's all I did for a few hours, and that's fine because as you already know, you need to do 100 of them, but a lot of other trophies also do come from the quests in addition. Like this one right here from killing 10 quest bosses. Not every single quest has a boss, but some will, and they just simply have a little red skull icon next to it to signify that they have a big willy woo-la on them. Now, within these quests, you also do get a ton of caps if you're looting each and every room, which you should definitely be doing because loot is fun, loot is good, and I want her back, bro. But I ended up reaching 10,000 caps about 30 or 40-ish minutes later and got another cap collection trophy. I also had over 35 vault dwellers now, which is quite a good amount and signifies to the game at least that we are past being a little baby in the intro and onto bigger and better things. 2 of which we got from this stage were the outfit and weapon workshops. You can craft recipes for outfits outfits and weapons in these rooms if you couldn't guess that. And the next 2 trophies I would get were from crafting 10 outfits and then from 10 weapons. Both have very similar requirements of scrap to make, and you can usually get the needed materials from just scrapping weapons and outfits that you already have, so it's a very good recycling practice. Puerto Rico could use a gander for real. Oh my god! Anyways, next trophy I got was then from quest again. Yes, I have returned to abuse them once more. And I ended up finishing my 10th one for a trophy. God, that took a while to just get 10, and we still have 90 more. Yep, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. So that's unfortunate, but another grind I did begin to really invest in, aside from just doing quest lines all day, was getting 100 vault dwellers. Now you can spend like 12 bucks to get 40 boxes to open, and you'll typically get like 5 or so vault dwellers from that. But as you can tell, it's not really a sustainable way to get more people. Instead, it's best to just have everyone
What did he say?
Yeah, just make everybody procreate. And I found like 2 dudes that had a super high charisma and were able to just get every girl they wanted. So basically this colony is like Elon Musk's wet dream of repopulation. It's great. Sadly though, you can't speed up pregnancy of a vault dweller, and you have to wait, I think, 3 hours for them to give birth, which is kind of poopy. And again, due to that, I just went back to questing. That's my new term for being online all day doing quests. I'm so smart. But I would again get another trophy right after one of these actually, and it was from leveling one of my first natural dwellers from 1 to 10 in the game. And I made sure to make note of who this dude was because the people I had been leveling in the quests were given to me and are void for leveling trophies. And I would end up using this lad much later. Oh, I gotta fart, hold up. Oh god. Alright, we're good. And I would end up using this lad much later to get the level 50 trophy, by the way. Anyways, back to the quest. I ended up getting my next trophy directly in them from achieving 500 kills on enemies, which was easy. Next up, I just completed 30 of them, and sorry I'm not going through the actual quest that I'm doing, but they are all literally the same. It just had you going through vaults to find someone or something and kill enemies on the way. But during these, you get lots of loot, as we know, and one of those lootable items is theme recipes. A theme is like a skin for a certain room and just makes them look different, sometimes cool, sometimes weird. But finding all the pieces for these is kind of a grind, and I ended up getting my first one fully found and put together right here for a trophy. I then had to go find the remaining materials to build it, not just form it together. And once I did, I saw that there was a staggering multiple day wait time for its construction. Damn, that's crazy. So yeah, I went and spent more money. Shout out to mom's credit card. And then I did purchase the speed up because I'm not waiting 5 days of my life to get a room skin crafted. And once it was finished, I ended up getting the only missable and buggy trophy of the game from crafting a weapon, an outfit, and a theme. Now this is missable and buggy, by the way, because apparently if you don't do them all in one session, the game stops tracking, which is just swell. Anyways, and then just continue with my routine, I guess you could say, of getting any dweller available pregnant. God, that sounds bad, but we need to repopulate the earth some way. That probably sounds worse now. But also doing a lot of quests, in turn getting a lot of caps. And I then went around and upgraded all of the rooms I could, reaching 20 at 3 or max for another trophy pop. During more quests I was doing, I also gathered 100 of both stim packs and rat away for another trophy called Big Pharma. We are breaking the 4th wall on this one. That's crazy. I then just did 25 dialogue choices in quest also. These occasionally happen when a boss or a quest person asks you something and you get to choose a response. It's kind of rare to see it though, but within 100 quests you'll get it guaranteed. And the choice you give also does not matter unless you really give a f. Now we have basically just been getting quest trophies as you have seen, but finally the baby repopulation investment was wearing off and I got a trophy from having 25 total babies in the game, which is awesome. Gotta invest back into the world, you know? Ignore me sending them all off to the farm later, it's not a big deal. After that though, I did start doing some quests with my boy who I previously mentioned I would be using to get to level 50 because I knew he was one of the OG dwellers. And at first I just threw him in missions with super high level people I got given, just so he wouldn't die on his own and stunt his confidence because that would be tragic. But he leveled to 25 right here for the second to last leveling trophy we need to get. Yes, the next one is at 50, so we have a while. But after I finished the next quest I did, when receiving the plunder and loot, I ended up collecting all the fragments of 4 theme recipes in the game for the decorator trophy to pop. But then for some reason, my game started to break down a tad bit. I'm not sure if it was due to me having so much progression in a kind of fast amount of time, or me just leaving the game on and open for a day straight. But either way, it began to glitch, and I was on some quest that like cock-blocked my progression for an hour because I just could not do it, and then I couldn't quit it. And I also could not get my people back. Eventually, they even ended up in the black and endless void. And no, not Shaniqua's kitty cat. But after a few restarts, the game sorted its shit out finally, and I ran away from quests like a sheep from the slaughter. So back in the vault, I got a trophy from just using the barbershop 10 times on different dwellers, giving them all absolutely chopped haircuts, and a trophy then popped after the 10th one finished. But that was all the relaxing for the time being, and Master came in and picked me up, throwing me back into more quests. And I ended up completing 60 for that trophy. Hey, we made it. More than halfway, just 40 more to go. And they are much harder now because quests get higher in level as you get higher in level, which is just swell. Some of them also require certain gun and outfit requirements to even begin them, which is retarded. But at this point, a lot of time had passed, many hours were invested in a fallout shelter, and my strategic strategy of getting 100 dwellers did come through, letting me finally reach 100. And no, there actually isn't any trophies for reaching 100 dwellers itself, it just looks cool. Nah, I'm just joking, having 100 is used to get the final room you need to build for a trophy. So I then did that and got the trophy I've been after since day one. And I also got a trophy for building 50 rooms as well, which is a funny coincidence that those lined up like that. They're watching us, run before it's too. So with that trophy done, I then just kind of sifted through the remaining ones, trying to get any out of the way that seemed easy or at least could be done with a bit of money involved to help speed it up. And one of them was from getting 20 legendary outfits, almost all entirely from packs. I love capitalism. I then spent multiple doubloons on the cola to speed up the theme crafting, unlocking, and just everything. So yes, I am very bad with finances. IRS, please give your boy a break. I cannot go back into the clink. Anyways, I did get the trophy, so suck my balls. I also reached 50 rooms rushed successfully next, which is almost a natural trophy when going for the platinum, because you need to do these so much for objectives, it's actually stupid as shit. But a little bit after that, I also got 20 legendary weapons, much like the outfits I just got, and there's a trophy for that also. Who doesn't love twins, am I right? Yes, my humor sucks. Deal with it. I have to hear the voices all day. How do you think I feel? I then did more quests for 3 hours straight, doing and attempting nothing else, and I'm not joking, which led me to reach 100 finish for that trophy finally. I basically just spent 30 hours doing those, and I feel no shame. But sadly, because I didn't start off my quest grind with my level 1 dude off the rip, I did have to play even more quests with him just to help him reach level 50, which he did end up doing fairly quickly after because he was already high in the 40s. So here's that trophy again, finally. I also got one right after that from scrapping 500 items, which I've been doing throughout the entire game. So now I have 2 more trophies remaining: survive 50 raider attacks and finish 100 objectives. I first began to go after the raider attacks because they are a bigger grind by a big difference. And here's some tips for this trophy if you also need it. First, make sure you have below 30 dwellers. I recommend having around 17 or 18 because the raider attacks first begin there and nothing else really is triggered in random events except for fires in your vault. Also, make sure to minimize the size of your vault as much as you can. However, if you do have a lot of the Mr. Handy machines on your floors, you won't be able to get rid of them, so just throw a tiny room on the floor and then leave it at that. Then you're going to want to get a 3 times objective pet or multiple of them and give them to the dwellers in the first room of the first floor, because this is the room where raider attacks will most likely happen in, and hopefully finish in if your dwellers have good enough items. With that bonus objective, you get whatever the multiplying factor is per raider attack, so it really helps speed things up insanely fast. And then my last tip is to just AFK your PlayStation. Yes, just walk away. Interacting with nothing is okay, and you won't disconnect unless your PlayStation has rest mode settings on, so make sure you turn those off. But you're going to want to AFK completely because interacting with throughout the vault sometimes resets the random occurrence timer, and we don't want that since it's already ready for a raider attack to occur. But with all that said, just simply go to sleep or touch grass. And during the night, I got the trophy pop at a crisp 1:58 a.m. But I did still have one more trophy to get, and it's from doing 100 objectives. These are not quests, and some people think they're the same, but some people, or most people, are idiots. An objective in this game is one of 3 little things you can do to get caps as a reward 99% of the time. And the objectives themselves are usually not too bad, but sometimes they can be stupid hard or just very inconvenient with your current standings. And it did take me another 2 hours of directly doing those, and those solely, to get the trophy. Also, this game has no way of tracking them in the stats, which is stupid as shit, so thanks Bethesda. But here's the trophy once I did get it randomly after finishing an objective, being my 100th, and the platinum trophy pop added on. So that was the Fallout Shelter platinum trophy experience. Overall, I think the game is pretty good. It's very nostalgic playing it again after so many years since my own personal iPad kid days, but rating it out of 10, I'll give it a solid 7. There really isn't anything to complain about aside from it being a little bit boring at times without using the boost, but that's just because I'm impatient and also don't have the time to play this game the way it's really meant to be played. And yeah, that's all. Alright, so in today's video, I got the platinum trophy on Fallout Shelter.